What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another top 10 list video. Today we're doing top 10 receivers. I'll just get right into it. Number 10, we have the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill from Kansas City. And Tyreek Hill is a deep threat, probably the fastest player in the NFL right now. And he's just Chiefs offense. If they didn't have Tyreek Hill, they still have McCall Hardman, obviously, but Tyreek Hill, he's a much more refined receiver than Hardman. He's a good route runner. He has good hands. He doesn't have great hands or great route running or elite or anything like that. But he's good hands, good route runner. He makes huge plays. He doesn't just run deep fly routes as a decoy on plays and then just catches deep balls. He actually plays normal football. He catches screens, obviously, and stuff. But he's actually good. He's a really good player. And just in general, he's going to be a good receiver. And he's the fastest player in the league. Like, what can you do to stop a guy like Tyreek Hill? And obviously, I have all the way down 10 just because I don't think he has the elite refined skills of anyone ahead of him. But that speed is the reason he's number 10 in the first place. And you can honestly, anyone between 4 to 10, you can argue any placement, and I would not disagree. I just have these guys at their spots because I honestly just thought on the fly. But Hill, elite speed, he'll make you miss. He runs good routes, good hands. He can do it all. Tyreek Hill. And no matter what you think about him as a person, that does not change what he is on the football field. And he is that, by the way. Anyways, let's move to number 9. And I posted these on Instagram, and there's been a lot of controversy over Tyreek Hill and 9 here at Mike Evans. And then number 6 is Stefon Diggs, the other controversial one. But here at 9, I'm Mike Evans, and I've always been lower on Mike Evans than the general public. Evans is an elite receiver. He's got over 1,000 yards in every single season of his football career. And I think that's tied or only one away. No, it's tied with Randy Moss for 6 straight seasons. That's the max that's been throughout football career. And if he could get 1,000 yards next year with Tom Brady, then that would make it 7, and I believe the record. And I think, 14 straight for Jerry Rice, overall. I don't think that's going to happen. But 7 straight years tied career is amazing. And Mike Evans, his skill set is being tall and making a 50-50 ball, a 75-25 ball, because Evans, he's huge. He has great hands. He'll leap up in the sky. He'll pull down a catch. And that's all he really does, honestly. And he's not the best route runner. He's not very fast even, and I think he's not the best overall receiver, but the ball ability to make a 50-50 ball into anything more than a 50-50 ball, especially Evans making it, in my opinion, a 70-30, 75-25 type ball, that's a huge impact. And when you have James Winston back there, he's going to just lob it up to you. That's a huge W for Winston. Even though he still threw 30 picks, but there's more than one receiver on the field. You can't just launch it at Mike Evans every play. But now Tom Brady there, I don't know how these skill sets are going to fit together necessarily, because I don't think Evans and Brady's best years were with Randy Moss, who's kind of like Evans, except he's fast and was a true deep threat. I don't know if Evans and Brady really fit together too well, but Evans, I feel like I underrate him quite a bit. He deserves more credit than he gets, but I still have him down here at 9. He's still a great receiver, though, don't get me wrong, and obviously 1,000 yards every year starts career, it's great. And he is a great receiver. And I have him at number 9. Anyways, let's go ahead and move to number 8. And I have Keenan Allen down at 8. I originally had him at, I believe, 6 or 7 or something like that. But I have him all the way down to number 8 here now. And Allen, he's a start. But the next, 3, well, really the rest of the players on the list, but these next guys are true just elite route runners. I believe up to number 4, they're just pure elite route runners, and they aren't amazing at anything else. They're not amazing, they're still good at this stuff, or else they wouldn't be up here. You can't just be a route runner and be a top 10 receiver, but still. Let's get into Keenan Allen now, though. Keenan Allen, I think he does not get any credit at all that he deserves. Allen, I feel like I haven't heard anybody talk about him since he was getting hurt in his rookie second seasons. ever since he's come back and stayed healthy through the rest of his career to this point, no one's really been talking about him, and I don't understand why. He's, like I said, elite route runner, and he has elite hands as well. In my opinion, he catch it in traffic ability is amazing. His hands are just great, and he's very crafty. He's very crafty. He can make you miss. Just shifty. He's pretty shifty. He's not fast, but he's shifty, and with him, he can also play in the slot, which is a big impact as well, because slot receivers get a lot of looks today in this league, and take advantage of those, because usually the worst corners are in the slot, so you want to be able to take advantage of the worst players. And Keenan Allen, they obviously drafted, or the Cardinals drafted some guys to keep him on the outside, because he is an outside receiver, but the versatility is a good thing as well, and just overall, Allen, I think he does not get the credit he deserves. And although early on in his career, he was a huge injury question. I would refuse to draft him in fantasy football because I'm still scared that he could possibly get hurt. I care more about that in fantasy than I do about these rankings. But he's been able to stay healthy throughout the rest of his career for the most part, and ever since those early years, he's been healthy. He's just been elite, and he's always been elite. It's just if he can stay healthy. He has been. So that puts him in number 8 on this list for me, and the reason the next guy is ahead of him is because he's more of a deep threat type receiver. Like, you could argue that you can switch, like I said, anybody between 4 to 10, you could really put anywhere on this list. At number 7, I have Amari Cooper of the Dallas Cowboys, former Raider receiver as well. And the next, like I said, the next guys, route runners. And Amari Cooper, he quite possibly is the best route runner in the entire league. And he combines that with having elite, in my opinion, elite, like, or not elite, but he has top tier speed in my opinion, or not even top tier, but like, you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get at. He has great speed. He's really fast, especially for his size. And the problem with Cooper, he could be this top 3 receiver, but his hands are so inconsistent, and he also has a history of just disappearing randomly, and it's really weird. And that's the reason the Raiders were willing to get rid of him, because he has those hands problems. He just disappears sometimes, and 7 might be too high considering that, but I think his talent is like top 3 type talent, and if he could just work on those hands at some point and just get him to a level where he just can't catch the ball consistently. I mean, he still does consistently. He's still top receiver. There's a reason he's up here. There's a reason he got paid, but he's still like, just his talent is immense, and he will make. He's just gonna make plays, and he's also a deep throw. That speed that he has, and he's just insane. And I think Amari Cooper, as much as I wish he could be, or I don't really wish, I wish he'd be a terrible receiver because he's on Dallas and nobody likes Dallas. But I just think that he doesn't get the credit he deserves really, and he gets a lot of trash from even Cowboys fans because they like to blame Amari Cooper for Dak sucking, or anybody on that team really for Dak sucking, except for Dak himself. But we're not going to get into that. I can get into that at a much later time when we go through all the NFL teams, which I am probably going to start doing after this video. Anyways, number 6 now, because we're done talking about Amari Cooper. Another one that's questionable. This is probably the most controversial one, honestly, that I had. Actually, no, Evan's most controversial, and then I'd say Stefon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills is probably the most controversial one here. The next most controversial one. And Diggs, a lot of people are saying that having over Adam Thielen is questionable. And see, the thing is, I think they're actually extremely similar skill-wise, to where they both are great route runners, and they both have good hands. They both make big plays. But I think Stefon Diggs is just much more. Well, basically, he's faster. That's basically all I say. I think he's way faster, and I think he has that deep threat ability that helps him out and makes him more of a overall threat than a guy like Adam Thielen, who's more of just this really crafty route runner. He's like Keenan Allen, but I just think he's slightly worse. I think Adam Thielen's like 12 or 11 on my list. I can't remember exactly. I had like an honorable mention thing. I probably should have done that. Probably should have done honorable mentions first. But I don't even remember what they are at this point. Anyways, Stefon Diggs, he's an elite route runner. As I've been saying, these next few guys, they're going to be elite route runners. Diggs, he's obviously a little dramatic. You've seen his fiasco with the Vikings, how he handled not getting as many targets from Kirk Cousins, and how Adam Thielen was getting more and all that. You saw, and obviously What do you think of Stephon Diggs? What do you think? They think of the Minneapolis Miracle, and obviously that's a huge play, one of the best plays in the history of football. But he's much more than just that play. He's an overall really great receiver, and a lot of people are arguing that Anthony should be on here, that Diggs shouldn't be on here at all, and that he's the number 2 receiver there, and there's just a bunch of stuff. I think Diggs, talent-wise, he's just much better. And if he can, and with him being number receiver at Buffalo, as long as Josh Allen isn't overthrowing him every play, or basically Josh Allen just hits him, I think people end up seeing him as his tops, like 7, 6, even top 5 type of receiver in the NFL. But kind of up to Josh Allen there. And if Diggs isn't a complete asshole and ruins everything. Anyways, moving on to another player who is way too high, but I'm still leaving him here because, or not another player that's too high, just the only one that's too high in my opinion. And I like how I'm calling my own player too high. But I have this guy here because I've always been a huge fan of him, and I've always been just waiting for this. I've pretty much just always waiting for this to happen. And I have Chris Godwin all the way up at number 5, and I should probably be flipping him and Mike Evans, but I am a huge Chris Godwin fan. I've been waiting for him to break out since, Buccaneers, since he got drafted, and he finally did. He's been huge. He's honestly always been a breakout candidate from a lot of people that I've heard of. Now that he has, you see his skill set. He's an elite route runner. He also has amazing speed, and he's basically Stephon Diggs, but I think he's up a level from Stephon Diggs, and he's still developing too. Because last year he was a huge breakout. He had a huge breakout season. Now that he's Tom Brady, I think he fits perfectly for a guy who Tom Brady would want. He's a great route runner. Although Godwin can go deep, and he probably will go deep and be decoy sometimes, along with Evans even, because he's obviously a jump ball guy. But Godwin, he's still a great player over the middle. He can make those catches of traffic, make those tough catches. He can run those routes, those complicated routes. And I just think overall, Chris Godwin. Obviously, James Winston, 30 season, 5,000 yards. His stats are a little inflated, just a little bit. But being a lead receiver on that team, and just overall being I just think Chris Godwin's a lead. And I think that he will end up being Andre Johnson. That's my comparison for him in his future. I think he'll be Andre Johnson, who was a top 3 receiver in his peak. So we'll see how high Chris Godwin can get. Obviously, he's too high. I get that, and I understand it. But this is a biased one right here. This is me overreacting, and I don't care what you think about it, because I will overreact the way I want to Chris Godwin's breakout season, and basically it finally happening as I've been waiting. Alright, here we go. And now, number 4, the only player that plays receiver for the Green Bay Packers. It's Davante Adams. It's their only receiver. Can you believe it? But Adams only at the 4, and that's because there's literally no one else on Green Bay, and he still makes all these huge plays. Obviously, he has Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and that's a huge help. And when you have Aaron Rodgers, but obviously it doesn't work for the entire roster, because who's the second best wide receiver? Allen Lazard? Yeah, that's exactly but Adams, I'm sure he gets double teamed 90% of the time. Their second best receivers are running back, and then it's just Adams basically. That's all it is. And I'll talk about skill set, of course. He's another elite route runner. This is like the last one, or actually I'll include Michael Thomas, I guess. Elite route runner type, and he's not extremely fast. He honestly has probably a worse skill set than guys like Godwin, Diggs, even he's more similar to Keenan Allen than anyone up here. Yeah, I think he is a little faster than Keenan Allen, but Adams, he's just he's just you have Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't trust anyone else on that team. And the fact that he could gain Aaron Rodgers' trust says a lot, because Aaron Rodgers has huge trust issues, as you've seen with his entire roster around him and the coaches and everything, his entire life. And it's just Adams, I think he's an elite receiver. People say he's too high. I think it's a perfect spot for Adams, considering that he's elite route runner, great hands. He can make jump ball catches as well. He can go downfield and make those big plays. But he's also a good guy underneath. He can do it all, in my opinion. I think Davante Adams could literally do anything you ask of him. And just overall, if you could gain trust of Aaron Rodgers, you deserve a top 5 spot on this list to me. I'm not putting Chris Godwin at 11. I'm not that crazy. I'm not crazy enough to put Godwin at 4. That takes us to number 3, which is Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas, people argue that he's number 1, or Saints fans really. No, he's not. I know he broke the record for catches. He was a lot of yards. He had a lot of, like, I just don't. Thomas is not that talented really. He's a good route runner. He's a good receiver. He still has good hands. He has good catch and traffic ability. He can make contested catches, and he's just not like a big play threat. He's a guy who's going to go underneath. He's going to make the dirty work happen. He's not ever going to go downfield and be that big deep ball play, big play threat that a football team is looking for, I guess. Or obviously teams will look for Michael Thomas because you want those guys underneath that can make those tough catches and always be tough and durable. But he's not like a deep threat at all. And Tom obviously broke records. That's the only reason he's even this high. If he didn't like break any records, he might be 10. But Thomas, he broke record for catches. He's gained the trust of Drew Brees. He is a great route runner. He knows what Drew Brees wants to do. He's good IQ. He's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but like I just think he's not like a top. He's not the top receiver. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. And he's fine. He's a fine receiver. He's top 3 receiver, okay? Chill. I need to like chill out the way of phrasing these things. But he's a great receiver. Actually, he's quite at the talent level of these next 2 guys. Honestly, I don't think he's at the talent level of the guys below him. But I mean, he's a record breaker, so obviously he's an elite receiver, and he's gonna get the attention he deserves. And that takes us to number 2, which is now a Cardinals receiver. And I still have Texans written here because I made this a long ass time ago. This is DeAndre Hopkins, Nuke himself. Now an Arizona Cardinal. He was a Texan. I can't believe that trade was a thing that happened in the National Football League. And the guy kept his job. But anyways, Nuke, he's extremely similar to Mike Evans, but brings it up a notch. He's elite, contested, jump ball threat. He can run amazing routes. He's not fast at all. He's really not that fast. But he will just jump over you. He'll out-jump you. He'll grab the high points of the ball, bring it down, and you can crush him. He doesn't care. He's going to hang on to that ball 90% of the time. He's amazing. He's great route running. He's a great route runner. Great contested ball. And we all know who number 1 is. It's Julio Jones. And the reason he's number 2 and Jones is 1 is because although Julio I think Julio having that deep threat ability, DeAndre Hopkins trades out the deep threat for me just a little more of a just a little better hands basically. And I think having that deep speed is important. And obviously Hopkins is number 2. I'm not trashing him, but if Hopkins had if he had even like Amari Cooper type speed, Stephon Diggs type speed, obviously Julio Jones type speed, or Chris Godwin type speed, he would be probably number 1. But he's more of like Vincent Jackson type speed, if you remember who that is, or I guess I'll just say Mike Evans type speed since he's on his list already, or Keenan Allen. And with that being said, that's why he's at number 2, not number 1. He's still elite. He's still a superstar. I can't believe that Bill O'Brien valued Brandon Cooks the same as he valued DeAndre Hopkins, especially when you have 2 Brandon Cooks on the team already, or 2 different versions of him. So that's always fun. We always love bullying Bill O'Brien. That takes us to number 1, which is Julio Jones. I forget what his actual name is, but it's something really stupid. I want to find out what it is, so we're going to go and look it up right here, right now. So, if I want to call it, I think it's Quintavious or something. It took me to the fucking Yahoo Sports website. But while I'm looking this up, let's talk about Julio Jones. Julio Jones, he is 6'3", 220 pounds. He is elite speed, elite catching ability, elite ability to jump, I guess. Elite leaping ability? Is that what I'm trying to say? Sure. Okay, his name is Quintorris. So Quintorris Jones, the superstar wide receiver. And he's impossible to defend. He has had multiple 300-yard games in his career, I believe. Or I know he had one. I don't know if he had multiple, but I know he's had a 300-yard game. he's just insane. He is a huge, big play threat. He has that speed. He has that leaping ability. He has that athleticism that you look for. He is 6'3". He has like the athletic traits of a guy who's like 5'11", but he's 6'3". And not just that, but he has elite receiving ability. He can catch the ball extremely well. He has great hands. That's what I'm trying to say. He has elite hands, and he makes some of the most insane catches you'll ever see. As just insane body control. He can do so many. He can contort his body so many ways that you wouldn't even expect a human to do, unless they're like a ballerina or something insane. And actually, I'm pretty sure he wasn't like took ballerina lessons. I think that's why he's so good. And that being said, Julio Jones, he uses that ballerina ability extremely well. He's able to do all these toe tapping catches. Yeah, and I can't think of anything that catch in a Super Bowl, although it didn't lead the Falcons to a win. That catch where he has 2 feet in bounds, he's like bent all the way over sideways. I think that's probably one of the best catches in the league, or in the league's history. That's probably better than like Odell Beckham's one-handed back-bending, insane, whatever that is, catch. But Julio, he's just insane in literally every way. And you can argue that if someone's better than Julio, they're not. I don't think so. I think Julio should be the uncontested #1 receiver in the NFL. And there really shouldn't be any questions asked. But with that being said, that's it. That's it for the video, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that's over. I know 22 minutes of me talking about top 10 receivers. That's always fun. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, do all that. You know the drill. Same for every channel you watch on this website. Hope you all have a great night, day, afternoon, evening. I don't know what time it is when you're watching this or where you live. I live in Pacific time. It's 10:45 p.m. right now. So have a good evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, everybody.